And a very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes. My name is Jeff Owen, General Manager at WEIU. Today we're going to talk about all things Mattoon. In the studio, Alex Benishek from Mattoon in Motion, Fellow in Community Development. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
Welcome, Alex.
Hi, really happy to be here.
Good to meet you. And the other guy in there, an old face returning, Mr. Ed Dowd from the Mattoon Chamber of Commerce.
Always a pleasure, Jeff. Great to be here.
Yeah, well, appreciate you both coming over on this Monday. And I'm going to spend a lot of time early talking to Alex to get to explain a little bit of what he does. And so tell us a little bit about yourself and then how you kind of got to where you are with Mattoon in Motion and the fellowship.
Yeah, of course. So my name's Alex Benishek. I am from Sarasota, Florida. And basically, I was a returned Peace Corps volunteer, got evacuated during my service due to COVID in 2020. And so I was kind of like looking around, wasn't really finding any help with jobs and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what, I'll go back to school. And so the Western Illinois University and the Illinois Institute for Rural Affairs has a really neat program called before it was the Peace Corps Fellows Program, now it's Fellows in Community Development. And basically what they do is they take people that have served in either Peace Corps or AmeriCorps previously, and they allow them, due to their service, to get a full tuition waiver for coursework that primarily focuses on community and economic development. And so you go there, you do your coursework, you get all your classes done, and then in place of like writing a thesis or something like that, you then serve as a full-time AmeriCorps member for 11 months in a rural community that has gone through something the Illinois Institute for Rural Affairs calls the mapping process. It's basically a awesome strategic visioning program that cities apply for. They go through it and they get a roadmap to see where they want to be and how they can get there within the next 5 years.
And so that's how we got you.
Yeah, and so my site that I'm serving with is Mattoon in Motion. Yeah.
Jeff, I was going to say, you'll have to have him explain to you where he served his Peace Corps fellowship in what country.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I served as a volunteer in the Republic of North Macedonia. It's like right above Greece, fantastic area, great people, and I serve primarily as a community and economic development volunteer with a youth focus in Creta Palanca.
Do you get a choice or do they just assign you? I mean,
So actually, you can choose which country you want to apply to, or you can choose to apply where you're best needed. I had studied, like history. That was my undergrad, and so I was like, I got to go to Macedonia.
I didn't even know where Macedonia was.
Well, there's a North Macedonia,
yeah,
too.
Exactly.
Mattoon in Motion, for those who have no idea what it is, can you give us the layman terms? And Ed, you might jump in a little bit too, but what it does.
So Mattoon in Motion is basically an economic development, community and economic development nonprofit that's been founded by local community members. I think our first mapping was like in 1996 or something like that, or 94, and we've gone through this process like 3 times. And so basically you get together, you set up maybe 6 strategic goals and action teams, and then from there you basically start figuring out what your strategies are to achieve those goals, and you have focus areas. Right now we have 5 active committees or action teams: retail and entertainment, youth, housing, robust economy, and also our broadband coalition.
Yeah, we want to talk about those here later on in the show. That's
our biggest success from our 2017 mapping program was Elevate, which was the economic development organization out at the mall, and it's just done a great job, and that was our biggest win during that process. And then so we decided to go through a refresh, and that's when Alex came on board. So
and that's where
fantastic.
your offices are out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm based out of Elevate. We do have an office there, but I like to stay in the big area and just talk to folks. But again, Mattoon in Motion, like anybody can join. We have members ranging from the director of the Chamber of Commerce or the mayor to like just local citizens that really care about Mattoon and want to make it a better place.
Interesting. One of the first things you did is something called Better City for Pets. Talk about that.
Yeah. So I was asked by, I believe, Ed and the mayor or something like that. It was a long time ago. It's crazy that I've been here like 6 months. But anyways, I was tasked to kind of just fill out this form and see how we would be able to apply for this program, which is sponsored by Mars Pet Care. And so thankfully we scored correctly. We had all the stuff in line. And so we are now certified through the Better Cities for Pets program, which is sponsored by Mars Pet Care. And the idea is that this is a certification that a city earns returns due to their pet friendliness and, the amenities that they have for pets, or maybe even just, healthy housing practices towards them. And it's a great program. We've actually partnered with them on some other stuff that we'll be talking about later. But the idea is that we have this, and now that opens up a lot of great opportunities for us, because now that we've earned this designation or this certification, we got to keep it. And so it kind of motivates us to do more for pets in town. And
when we had the dog park person on 2 weeks ago, and the dog park kind of is changing locations, but I think maybe for the better. Do you agree that the in town is better than the one in the kind of the behind the school?
Yes, I think it's great. I think it'll be better for people off the interstate, for visitors to Mattoon to showcase how great our dog park is. And again, that's all part of the Better Cities for Pets that we're getting this dog park. We're one of only 43 cities in all the United States that have gotten this designation as a Better City for Pets. And we're just so happy, especially with Mars being in our community and being so involved in the community. It's just great that we can be part of that and that we can be considered that. We have so many businesses where people allow their pets. Rural King, their corporate headquarters are here, and they allow pets into their stores. You can bring your dog into the store.
Home Depot. Right?
Yeah, Home Depot. Bernie DeBure, even Harold Shores with Shores Jewelry. They have their pets that they
are with them,
with them all the time. So it's just a great city for that, and we want to showcase that.
You had sent me a note also, something about wanting to talk a little bit about a couple of websites that are helping on remote worker recruitment, because I know right now that's a big thing. People are working remotely, if I could talk, but also we need to get people to Mattoon to work, because there's so many people with help wanted signs right now.
Yeah, exactly. And so what we've created through our Robust Economy Action Team and through our partnership with the Chamber is basically a program called Move to Mattoon. And it's just, you can visit the beginnings of it at movetomattoon.com. And the idea is right now we're starting a remote worker recruitment incentive program. And this is later going to expand to manufacturing workers and trying to get them to town as well. But the idea is, so we've raised almost $50,000 worth of value from our community. So we're talking a year-long membership at Elevate, 6 months at the YMCA, 2 hours of family fun over at Zach's Tracks, really cool stuff. And in addition to $5,000 cash for moving for relocation assistance. And so the idea is that we get somebody here that's a full-time remote worker at a larger tech company, like, maybe LinkedIn or something like that, right?
From the bigger cities, Chicago, New York, things like that. We want them to come here because our cost of living, our crime rate is so much lower. Why not, if you can work remotely, why not work here in our community?
Exactly.
He did some statistics. He found out some statistics that before the pandemic, there was 5 million remote workers. Now there's over 40 million plus and growing.
Yeah.
So why not recruit some of these people to live here and just expand our opportunities for families to locate here, live here, and make it a great place to live.
Exactly. And the idea, for me at least, is just like, so let's say these folks are working here. They have, your average remote worker's salary is around like $80,000, $90,000, something like that. So they'll have a little more disposable income in the community that helps the economy. But on top of that, they have that significant and specialized tech experience. So let's say something happens at work and it just makes them realize, why am I working here? Maybe I want to do that startup I've always wanted to do. Well, now they can, because they have that membership at Elevate, fast internet there, and they're able to get stuff moving, and boom, we're the headquarters of a new company. And we partnered with an organization called Make My Move. You can visit them at makemymove.com, and the idea is basically people will go there because they get almost 700,000 unique views for folks that are trying to relocate for remote work. And there's only something like 70-something odd cities that are offering these incentives right now. So we're early, we're ahead of the game, and we think we're going to be in a competitive place.
A buddy of mine says that one of the issues in Mattoon, though, is there enough housing available for people that of that kind of income that could come to Mattoon and live?
Yeah, and that's a significant challenge that we're facing right now. And luckily, Mattoon in Motion has a housing committee that's actively working on that right now in partnership with the city. Members of that team include the mayor and our city administrator. And so basically, what we're pursuing right now is a housing study, housing stock study, and needs assessment for our community. We're still kind of going back and forth about, should it be a consultant? Do we do it in-house? But either way, it's going to get done because we've developed a timeline for it and a complete strategic plan for the next 5 years to get these goals accomplished. And yeah,
is there room for new subdivisions in Mattoon?
Yes, very good question. Yeah, so outside, behind, for instance, Oddfellow Rebecca Home, they have a lot of the infrastructure there already. The streets are almost ready, and a lot of the infrastructure there is ready. So there are certain locations. And another interesting thing, what we love is how all the businesses partner with the community. Like, for instance, Rural King did a study, and they found out that there's approximately 50 open locations for housing. And they said, you know what, there are some things available, but what can we do to even make it better? And so it's always great to partner with the business community and the city leaders and try to figure out ways, because you are right 100% that if we recruit these people here, if we get this workforce improved here, we got to house them.
Yeah.
And so there's some definite opportunities. They're talking about even potentially having some very high-end condominiums. There's someone who's working on that, a developer, and that would be fantastic. Things like that. So there are opportunities there. It's just that, to your point, we have to get that to make it attractive.
And that's sort of the idea, right? So Mattoon in Motion doesn't just focus on one thing; it's a lot of things at once.
Your hands everywhere.
And so by doing that, it allows us to really just collaborate, not only within our own separate work groups, but with other members in the community to get these things done. Yeah.
And you guys promote volunteerism a lot. You want people to volunteer. What kind of ideas are behind that?
Well, I mean, it's really just service to your country and community. I mean, that's the base of it. Everybody wants where they live to be a better place, right? But the only way that that's going to happen is if people get involved. And that's where volunteerism comes in. We have, I think it's like 80 to 100 folks that help create this organization throughout the past couple of years. And right now, I'd say we have something like, 50, 60 active members to some extent.
Yeah, and I always tell you, I've told you before, one of the main reasons I took this position as the Chamber of Commerce Director is it's just amazing how this community, the volunteer spirit in our community is just unparalleled, I think. Just people are willing to step up and help each other. The businesses are able to work together. It's just such a joy to have that opportunity.
I don't want to talk too long on this because next week I have Blake Pierce from Rural King coming in, and we're going to spend the entire show talking about the new proposed sports complex. But give us maybe your points of view of, excuse me, where we are right now in the sports complex in Mattoon.
So in my view, what I see is this is going to be right next to the interstate if it happens. Can you imagine the 27,000 cars that go by on 57 seeing this beautiful sports complex in our community? What a way to showcase Mattoon. I'm just so thrilled by it. I think that there's a really good opportunity. There's a lot of things that they still have to work out, but there's a lot of things that they've already done, and I just think it's going to be a fantastic opportunity for community. It's just amazing if we could have 600,000 visitors to our community, on a yearly basis, additional, people come into our community. Like we talked about the dog park, Dunham Sports. Part of the reason they signed the dotted line and they're coming here is because the potential of this sports complex.
And the sign went up last week.
Yeah,
it looks really good.
It's awesome.
Yep.
It's awesome. So I just think there's so many opportunities with this. So exciting for our community.
Yeah.
Alex, your thoughts?
I really just echo all of that. And honestly, I'm not even a sports guy. like me personally, just from an economic.
We're going to change that.
but from an economic development and even community development standpoint, I mean, this is a place for people to gather. It brings people to town. But for me, it's just kind of like a nerdy person. Like I really like that they had in the initial documents like a VR room or AR room, and so I'm really excited to see what that might look like.
Yeah, because e-games and all that stuff are our next wave. So
they said a lot of the kids when they're playing sports, their younger siblings or older siblings might want that.
Yeah, and so you can have those tournaments while you're having an outdoor tournament, and you got to make it a little bit different because there's a lot of competition out there right now in sports. Let's go into one of the things as I read on your website. I know you have like the 6 goals of the mapping, but one of them that interests me a little bit is broadband, just because by 2028 there are some rules that either cities or communities have to have in place, or schools. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so the idea is, I forget which organization was really striving towards that.
I think it was Lyft in the school district, right?
Well, I want to say it was DCEO, actually, the Department of, what is it?
Commerce and Economic Opportunity, yes.
And I believe that they have kind of set at the state level, like we would like to be at, I believe it's 25 megabits upload speed, 3 megabits download speed, every single home in all of Illinois by 2028. And so, we're really ahead of the curve on that. We already have some, really fast internet speeds in our community. But the main step that we're doing through the Mattoon Broadband Coalition, which was, I believe, originally founded through Mattoon in Motion, is, really just starting to develop that infrastructure for the town and figuring out what grant opportunities we can apply for. Because right now, Illinois is ahead of the game when it comes to investing in that. It's something like $450 million that they put towards that. And so, we have consolidated communications in our backyard, and so it just sort of makes sense to partner with them and see, how we can move things forward. So really just making sure that it's, everywhere, it's, accessible, but also affordable for folks. And that's really a later stage step. First, we got to get everyone connected, but really the main thing is making sure that everyone has access to it. Because during COVID, it got a little rough.
And we are ahead of the game truly because we've taken a lot of steps in advance. Part of the issue is you have to map the entire community, and we mapped the entire community of Mattoon, even the rural areas of Mattoon, and so we know every single house, what they have, if they, are underserviced or they have enough service, and then what we can do is we can say, okay, these people need this service, these people don't. And so we're ahead of the game in that, and that a lot of the grants that come from the federal government and the state government are based on RU to that point where you can say who needs it and who
Saturation is enough.
Saturation.
And we got to give a big shout out to Elevate and Matt Titus for helping out with that. They really drove that process forward.
Yeah, yes.
It seems like you have a lot of different things going on. I guess the one question is you have the chamber, you have Mattoon in Motion, and you also have Coals Together. All three have similar kind of focuses, but you each have your own niche. How does it, and you all work together? How does that kind of work from the outside point of view?
Yeah, again, the reason I love our community so much is that everyone is willing to work together. There's no animosity, hey, this is my expertise, with Coals Together, with the chamber, and with Mattoon in Motion. We all want to work together, synergies. We want to have synergies. We want to make sure that we're all working together toward the same goal. I meet with Angela Griffin from Coals Together all the time, and we talk about what ways to improve Mattoon in Motion. Every single group that we have, we always are trying to find ways to anything we can do to improve Mattoon. No one's thinking that they're superior, that hey, I should take on this. Everyone's saying, let's work together. So it's just, to your point, it's just such a great opportunity to have everyone working together in synergy. What they do, she does a lot with industrial and manufacturing, but they're also doing now commercial and retail, and that falls under my bailiwick too. And so we work together. Whenever retail people call or given information, we can get with Coals Together and Mattoon in Motion. We talk about those kind of things. So it's just a great partnership. It's great.
And when is Dunham's going to start? Well, we are open since we talked about it.
I think they're talking early summer, maybe probably July. I think July, which is fantastic. Yeah. And Lyft. We were talking about the move to Mattoon and things. One of the things we love is that, they say, what makes your community unique? Well, we have consolidated communications. We have the fastest internet possible in a rural community, but we have a fantastic education system with Lyft, and that's going to really motivate people who maybe live in Chicago or St. Louis, or say, what, I want to come to Mattoon because my cost of living is down, but they have a fantastic educational infrastructure for our kids. So we just have so many things going for us. It's just so fantastic. And
one of the other things I saw was youth development. There's a component of Mattoon in Motion. Talk about that.
So with that, I got to give a huge shout out to Chris Mileski. He's the chair of our youth committee or action team, and basically that group is just a conglomeration of all folks interested in organizations interested in youth in Mattoon. And so we have members from the school district there, folks from Douglas Hart, the Y, Fit to Serve, really just any organization that's related to youth is there collaborating, talking about what they're working on and seeing how they can better allocate their resources. And really, that's a point I kind of missed earlier, is that's what Mattoon in Motion is about, and specifically in that action team as well, is really just how do we best use our resources as a community to where, we're not just pulling off in different directions, but we're better allocating what we have to achieve the things that we need.
And Jeff, to your point on that, youth, what's so exciting is we have quite a few members who are actually, juniors, seniors in high school, who are really interested in making Mattoon better. And what better way, that's our future. So getting them involved with this at a young age is just so important. And to your point, it's so great. And their ideas are just fantastic. Some of the things that they've come up with, these kids, it's just amazing what they do in school. So
yeah, I saw some of the young names on there. I'm like, oh wow, that's kind of neat, because it's one way. Because one of the big issues has been trying to keep people in Mattoon.
Yes.
We graduate 250 people a year, and 200 move away. You just can't build any population base based on that. You're hoping other things happen, but you never know. I'm trying to make there was it robust economy, housing, youth development, and workforce development. Did any of those we didn't get? Other notes on you want to touch base?
I'd say retail and entertainment.
Okay,
so that's actually a new committee that's been formed, and we ended up just merging a few committees recently to form that group. And the idea behind that is just like, what's going on in town? What do residents have to do, on the weekends or things like that? And so really just trying to promote that, but also, making sure that everybody knows what type of retail and dining opportunities are here in our community, new and engaging things. And there's a lot of, new and exciting boutiques that are popping up that have just really unique wares and things. And, at the end of the day, this is something that gets people out into the economy, participating. And so really just making sure that everybody in town knows what's available to them, so that they can feel like this is a place where things are happening, where there is motion. Because one of the things that you might find in a lot of smaller, more rural towns is there's this negative self-talk, right? There's nothing to do here and things aren't going on. But that's not the reality. The reality is that there are a ton of things going on in town that are really exciting and engaging. It's just a matter of, making sure that people know about that. And that's one of the ways how that committee is really pushing forward.
One perfect example, Jeff, and you may not even realize this, that there's nearly 12 dining opportunities in downtown Mattoon alone. You probably didn't even realize that.
I'll say, Hunan. I have to get my list out.
But the thing is, so a lot of people, it's just getting the word out, getting them to know that there's so many opportunities here in our community that people don't even know of all the different opportunities. So we want to emphasize that and, celebrate that.
Including the original Burger King.
That's right.
Yeah,
original
indeed.
I'm sure you've tried that, right?
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic.
I knew you were going to say that. Hey, let's talk a little. We have a few minutes left. I want to talk a little bit about Chamber. Chamber, your big golf tournament coming up.
Yes.
Ginger Ales is getting ready to open.
Very exciting.
What else is going on?
Yeah, very exciting. As you mentioned, Dunham Sports is great. They're going to be coming soon. We have Ginger Ales, which is going to be right next to Esri
Lifetime
Eye Care, and it's going to be drive-through, and they have like a billion different kinds of drink opportunities they have. We have Dunham, like you said, Dunham, and then of course the hotel complex, the Hilton Garden and Convention Center is going to be up and running, hopefully, by the end of July. So there's just so many great things happening. And again, the sports complex, we have just so
Lift
many,
in August.
Yeah, Lift in August. That's going to be massive for our community.
Is it on pace? I know some people have been taking tours and stuff.
Yeah, we took a tour recently, actually.
Did you have to wear your hard hat?
Yes.
Yeah. Just amazing. Have you had a chance to tour?
I have not yet. I mean, I was on some of the committees to help out, but I have not toured it yet.
Yes,
so.
it's going to be a fantastic opportunity. They already have 20 different school districts signed up to participate.
Oh, so it's 20 now?
Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
It's just so amazing that, and again, that's going to be a way to really make Mattoon stand out, and our community stand out, is we have all these kids coming to our community, and if we could keep even 10% of them to live and play and make Mattoon their home, it would be
the
fantastic.
importance is just the curriculum that's going into that center. These folks, or these students are going to graduate and then realize that they already have the skills and experience to do what they were probably maybe planning to go do somewhere else right here where it's needed. And so just having a dedicated organization to make those trade skills is just going to be incredibly impactful for our town. town.
Because I still think the biggest issue is all besides the housing is workforce development.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
every place right now is shorthanded,
Yes.
and I know some of them are using that as a convenient excuse. We all know that,
Yeah.
but it really is. I mean, I think still the 90% of them don't have enough people to work.
Absolutely.
And it's a big problem, not just in Mattoon. It's here in Charleston. Everywhere you go, the service is slower, and so it's a concern. And so I think we definitely have to continue to work on that.
And that's part of the reason why we can't recruit a lot of new places, because the first thing they do is they contact these manufacturers and these industries and say, what's your workforce like? Well, we struggle a little bit. So that's why we have to improve upon that, because then if we can get the workforce through things like Lyft and other things, we can say, we have a thriving workforce. We come here, we can fulfill your positions and things. So yes.
Yeah.
Couple minutes left. We're talking to Alex Benishek and Ed Dowd from Mattoon. Now, Alex, since you've been here now 6 months and you're on an 11-month kind of commitment, I mean, all these things exciting in Mattoon. I mean, I guess the question is, are you interested in staying long term after that, or what's your kind of game plan for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to stay. It's really the people in this town that have made me think that. I really want to stay because of the community and really just that mindset of volunteerism. And everybody here has been very friendly, very kind. I really haven't had any bad experiences here. It's really the reason. How should I say this? Like the quality of life is just so far improved. I'm from Sarasota, Florida. Love Sarasota. It's great, but Florida in general is a little overpopulated. There's just something about a 5-10 minute drive to work versus 45 minutes that just really kind of changes how you feel about a community. And here, there's access to nature. Just exciting opportunities for like recreation, the bike trail. I try to go on that every time that I find the courage to go work out. It's a great place, and I'd love to stay.
And you get to work with people like Ed, right?
Yeah. Well, that might be a drawback. I don't know.
I was just going to ask you what one of Ed's strengths is. We have about a minute left. Anything about Mattoon that we did not get to talk about today, as much as you'd like to, or anything to hit on?
You got to give him one of your stump questions that you always
All right,
give
okay.
me.
Oh no.
And I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
Favorite lunch spot in Mattoon?
Oof.
Lunch, though, in particular.
Lunch.
Yeah, lunch.
I would have to say right now, Thai noodle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a TV game show you like to watch?
Ooh. Price is Right. Pretty good.
Morning beverage of choice?
It would be coffee. I love coffee. I just quit recently, and it's a mistake.
How does one quit coffee?
Pain.
Pain.
Favorite vegetable?
Celery. It's
Okay.
most versatile.
First car, and what color was it?
Ooh, 97 Ford Probe GT, red.
Wow.
Last one, summer movie you got to see.
Ooh, summer movie.
Is there anything coming out that you just can't wait?
I don't know too much about stuff coming out now, but I would say one of my favorite movies is Submarine. Just great film. Check it out on Netflix.
There you go. Ed, great seeing you.
Always a pleasure.
Alex, nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Lots going on in Mattoon. We are WEIU.